Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Can you hear me well?
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. Well, I know we have a couple announcements, so we'll get started with some resident announcements, and then we'll go into a little bit of updates. I know you want to know what's going on in the RO, so we'll go ahead. I know Miss Margaret had one, and Chris. Any others? Any other additional? Okay.
Just a, oh,
Turn on for you. Sorry about that.
good morning. Just a reminder that the sign-up sheets for the Parkinson's support group are out. They've been out for about 3 or 4 days. We'll get them done by the end of this week and contact everybody. A few, very few, have signed up, but it's not limited to the patients. It's also for spouses, caregivers, or even a relative. So they're in the sign-up area.
Thank you, Chris. Miss Margaret. There we go.
Thank you. Valerie McAllister asked me to ask residents if they have seen an open box of Chewy cat supplies. It disappeared from her front door.
Gonna have to hire full-time police around here. Gee whiz. There's one down by an empty apartment on 5. Uh-oh.
North Wing.
We'll put out an award
People
for
are moving
it.
in there and they haven't picked it up.
Okay. The mystery of the Chewy box. All right. Any other announcements? And yes. Okay. Thank you, Betsy.
Just a real quick thank you to those who have donated to the scholarship fund. We're getting close to awards night, or day, excuse me, June 1st. So we ask you generously if you still would like to consider donating. Our residents or our associates are putting in their applications right now. They're working hard on that, and they deserve the best. So I would enjoy anyone who would please put your non-tax deductible donation into the boxes in the mail rooms. Thank you again for your support.
Thank you. Any other announcements? Okay, well, we'll get started with a couple updates. So just a little bit from IHS, the puzzle winner was Robin Graham, 8205. I saw her just come in through the door. You came just in time for your free stuff, girl. Glad you're here. Glad you made it. We do appreciate, we wanted to mention again, we've had some significant challenges with changing the system. So we just wanted to say again, we appreciate everyone's patience while we have worked through the transition of the new system. The billing and the scheduling has been extremely arduous on Christine and her team and Maddie. So those residents that are on services, we just appreciate you and thank you. We're almost over the hump and getting things resolved and straightened out to where it'll be much more cohesive in the future. But thank you for the patience during the transition. So from Evan, he's actually not feeling well, so we sent him home today, but we are getting ready to start the window washing project that will start in the south. This week they are going to start removing the screens, so if you have a day of normal housekeeping, he is going to be removing those screens. And then Monday on 4/8, they will start with the north screens. So if you have any questions about that, please do give Evan a call. He will be back. He's just not feeling well today, but we will start that process next week. As far as updates, we do not have any COVID cases that I'm aware of at the moment, so keep up the great work, stay healthy, stay well, and hopefully we keep these numbers at 0.
Yes.
Okay. We have our fall prevention clinic. I know we've mentioned it couple times now. It's actually going to be Wednesday, April 24th from 1 to 3 in here, the town hall. This will include our therapist, Regency Oaks therapist, IHS, Grace Family Home Care, and a durable medical equipment inspection and assistance if you need any repairs or upgrades on any of your equipment. So big focus, I know we've mentioned it before, lots of falls are still happening. We've got to be careful, we've got to be as mindful as possible, so we want to continue having these fall clinics to keep that awareness out there. Just a little bit of reminder about that. Please wear proper footwear. We don't recommend flip-flops. We can't make you not wear them, but it's definitely doesn't help. Please be using your devices. I see residents that I know have a walker or I know have a cane and they're just roaming around without those. So please bring those if it's for your safety, it's for your well-being. Flooring transitions and rugs, that's been another one. Be mindful of any cluttered areas or loose cords in your home. And again, please do consider removing those throw rugs or those area rugs. We are, of course, wanting to remind you to always have your pendant with you, either wearing it or in your belongings. And also to consider either taking someone or letting a buddy know if you're going somewhere that's not maybe in one of the main areas. So we continue to try to get in front of falls. We can't prevent them 100%, but we can work together to where we're being as careful as possible. Falls can create quite unnecessary pain and damage to any of us. So again, we just want to make sure that we continue to discuss falls and how important they are. Broken record, I sound like one, don't I? Please wear your pendants. Take them with you, bring them, tie them around you, whatever you need to do. Just please take your pendants. Who has their pendant here? Look at you, rebels. Thank you to the ones with your pendants on. Oh yes, Ms. Bobby's got her cell phone. We just want to make sure if something happens, we can get to you.
We should point out that if you're in the stairwell, your cell phone might not work, and your pendant will.
All right, well, have your pendants. So on to the social club. I know you're so excited about it. All of that free liquor's going away. We are, as we know, LCS, make sure to move this for a trip on this. LCS, we do have the social club. We have the forms that went out a couple weeks ago. Betsy continues to get those forms and get those sent in. We do have to have those by all the residents and guests, for your guests, if you do have them, in order for them to be able to drink on site. We have not gotten the licensure yet. That is still in process with the attorneys, working all of those kinks out, but we did get the actual letters for the pricing out. So you should have seen that. That's been out. That's your 60-day notice according to the OIR guidelines, and we presented it to our RORO president, and once we get that licensure, we will communicate. And you're super excited. Activities this week, unfortunately today, the stencil class with Miss Johanna is canceled. Wednesday, tomorrow, we do have dance night at 7 p.m. in Grand Lobby South. Thursday, April 4th, we have our talent show starting at 4 p.m. here in the town hall. And then Friday, April 5th, the writing class 101 is at 3 p.m. MRS Room South Building. That's a new one. Meeting Room South. Thank you. See? Y'all are using acronyms I don't know. So, and then Ginger just wanted to remind you it's not too late to sign up for the Parkinson's awareness, the new Step-a-thon. That is actually April 11th from 7:30 to 4, and you would pick a 15-minute slot and join us in the fitness center.
The Meeting Room South is on the 4th floor.
Meeting Room South, 4th floor, for those that don't know.
A wing.
A wing. Thank you. See, I've been here a little over a year and I'm still learning things about this place.
We have rehearsal today at 3 o'clock for the talent show.
Rehearsal today at 3 p.m. for the talent show. Yes, we have that on our calendar. Make sure you have that on yours if you're involved. Today at 3 p.m. for the talent show. Thank you. Okay, a little bit of updates from plant operations. They had 123 work orders completed. 53 still open. Sometimes those are preventative maintenance and reminders, and sometimes they're good old work orders. Pressure washing the courtyards and the fence, they completed that last week in the healthcare center. We repainted the gazebos over there in the healthcare center. We did install a 5-ton HVAC in the library north building. Of course, we did have the water shut off. That should be the last one from that incident. Again, thank you for all of your cooperation with that, so they were able to get that prepared or repaired. They are repaired and replaced the timer on the main entry lighting. They replaced 3 HVAC units in apartments. We completed our annual boiler inspection, and we completed a pool inspection by the health department. All favorable for us, no major issues. So from food and beverage, I heard great feedback on the Easter Sunday meal, so I hope you all enjoyed it. Ricky did want to remind you of all of the items they have going on. Bella Row, Fridays, April 5th and 19th. Pasta Nights Wednesday, April 17th. Breezeway dinner is Friday the 12th and the 26th. Our next theme dinner will be Japanese, and that's the 23rd. And Passover Sedar, the 25th, for invited residents. And then the new gourmet cycle, Wednesday, April 10th, featuring sake miso sea bass. That sounds amazing. And then this Sunday, the 7th, he wanted me to let you know the carved item is roasted turkey, and the food and wine pairing, April 30th. He is also putting out a memo, just as a reminder, when there is a buffet, there is no to-go boxes. So he's putting that out. He'll have that in your boxes if he has not already. Ricky and Food and Beverage team. But for those buffets, there are no to-go boxes. Sorry. Except for desserts. Yes, that is clarified in the letter. Except for the desserts. Thank you, Candy. Sales had a spectacular quarter. We actually finished at 18 new residents on a budget of 14 new residents. So really excited to have 18 new move-ins happening soon. So thank you again to all of our residents and all of our ambassadors that participated and helped with that entire process. Our goal for overall is Road to 95, to be 95% occupied. So 18 on a budget of 14 is definitely well on our way. So you have 18 new friends, 18 new neighbors. The next marketing event is the Path to a Secure Future, April 3rd at 2 p.m. And then we are currently hiring for a marketing specialist. Daniela was taken from us, and she is actually going to work for the city at the police department. So she'll have great benefits working for the city, and we wish her all the well. We all know that she's a bright young woman with a very, very exciting future. So we definitely didn't wanted to make sure we fully support her future endeavors. So we are sad to see her go. She's going to remain PRN, which is part-time or as needed, per se, and helping out in food and beverage. So you'll see her again. She told me every one of you have a special place in her heart, and that she's grown up here at Regency, and that she's going to miss all of us, but we'll see her again. So. Just another reminder, the annual shredding is for about mid-April. It is scheduled right around tax. I think the deadline for taxes is April 15th. But make sure you've got your taxes in, and we can start shredding all that old stuff you don't need anymore. And then just a little bit from me. I like to try to keep some of it on the agenda from one week to another if there wasn't a whole lot of progress. But we are still finalizing the last aspects of the signage. We are getting the directional signage that we'll have around each side of the building as well as the town hall, just in order to help better navigate our community. We are still working on the pendant project. We are completing a competitor bid. We have to have multiple bids to ensure we're being competitive in the pricing of the vendors we use. So we're waiting on some last bit of information so we can move forward. So more to come on that, but nothing from last week. I know I mentioned before, but we are beginning a Smart Rain project. It helps us save on the cost and water conservation. It was actually something that Health Peak directed all of the communities to initiate. So still haven't received any much information about that, but I will have more details once I know more about the aspects of that program. We are going to be repainting the curbs. I just think that they're unsightly out there that face the greenhouse and the garden. This is not part of the paving project, but it's something I want done sooner than later, just so they look better. So we will be handling that fairly soon, and we are still having the paving project scheduled. They're not the same, they're two different projects, but we wanted to get that area painted and addressed. And then we are aware as far as the north building, lots about the furniture. There's still pieces that did not arrive. Everything was supposed to arrive on that Tuesday. Half of it did not. Half of it arrived on that Wednesday. And then about half of it, or at least a good amount of it, is still on its way. So yes, there's about 24 pieces that are still missing. So lots of large furniture, and not missing, but on its way. It's not here, so it's not missing. We know where it's at, but it will slowly trickle in. So not a whole much more about that aspect. We will get it when we get it. So I do have a timeline of estimations for the last of those 24 pieces, but we're not done yet. And then I know we are still working on some warranty items. There's some outside in this area of the town hall. We've got some wallpaper we're replacing and just some other various aspects. So kind of still working on that with the various vendors. The carpet project, not a whole lot with that. The next steps, we're going to be kind of pulling up some carpet and putting down the LVP, luxury vinyl planking in various areas, and that estimation is still about to be completed in June. So there are some areas that are high traffic that we will be replacing with the actual tiles instead of the carpet. Again, I want to mention removing items and taking things that do not belong to you may be a contract violation, so please do not do it, or you will be hearing from me, and we will be talking about your contract and your expectations of residency to not steal. So stop removing people's items if they're not yours. It's becoming a bigger problem than it should be. Knock it off, please. If it's not yours, please, and if you see it and it's got someone's name on it, please turn it into the front desk and we'll make sure that it goes to its rightful owner. Little bit of feedback about the fitness center. So normally it closes about 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night and opens again at 6. We are going to extend those hours. We do have some residents that are early risers, like to work out at 3 and 4 a.m. and some that like to work out as late as 10 p.m. So not me ever, but ever never. But we did go ahead and extend the hours, so we do just ask, what do we want you to wear? Your pendants. And please just let the front desk know in the evenings if you do decide to go in those later hours. So again, it's something we can do to certain residents that do want to see those hours extended, so we will be extending those hours. And other than that, LCS Regional, my boss, Sherry Robinson, will be back again next Tuesday, April 16th, and in 2 weeks, yes. And she will be attending Tuesday Talk, so if you have any questions for her or on behalf of corporate LCS. She comes here quite frequently. Please do attend. She will be here, and then we'll meet with Miss Margaret, our Madam Railroad President, right after. So last but not least, our exciting talent show. We've got lots of residents and associates that are going to be participating, and we're pretty excited about seeing how it turns out. So join us at 4, do what you want about eating, and we'll all be here to have a good time. Any questions you have for me? Yes, ma'am. Miss Gail.
Last week I called in my food order and the dining room didn't get it. I guess the phones aren't working right. Has that problem been resolved, or is somebody answering the phone?
So it is my understanding there was an issue with the phones. It was a weird fluke issue. It is my understanding that it's been resolved. Yes, Miss.
Excuse me, as of when would that have been resolved? Gail and I have the exact same issue. And I know a number of people, their orders that they placed since Friday a week ago have just gone into nowhere.
So Monday or Tuesday, what was it? Over the weekend, I do not remember the exact day, but it was basically following that next day that they figured it out, and Darwin took a look at it and were able to resolve it. So if you are still having issues, I can have Ricky reach out to you.
Thank you.
Do we have no parking signs ordered for all the places that have the orange cones? The orange cones are quite unsightly.
I just texted Darwin this morning to get them out of here. Stop reading my mind. So they are unsightly, but they're not necessarily, they are to block some of the grass because visitors are tearing up our grass. So I texted Darwin this morning as I was driving in. I do see them, and I asked him to remove them, and we will sit down. We have not had an opportunity yet. He's been tied up this morning, but we'll sit down and figure out a more appropriate intervention. But he did have cones around because people continue to destroy the curbs and the grass. So you will see cones. I'm not telling you they're gone, but we are removing a lot of them, and I am looking for an alternative to that. Any other questions?
Me.
Oh, sorry, didn't see you there.
It's actually a sort of follow-up of Gail's point with the telephones calling in. I had the same experience.
Okay.
And I understand that you can have glitches in phone systems or whatever. The concern for me is that there wasn't a plan B. You know, nobody knew that it wasn't working, and
We didn't know either until you all told us. So it was an odd fluke. Technologically, I don't really know exactly. It was definitely unanticipated. We'll make sure to try to communicate that.
I'm just wanted to say that I think in this kind of situation, when you know it, it would be important to do the same thing like
Absolutely.
Betsy does, over the phone saying that the South isn't working because people needed those meals that they didn't know.
Absolutely. Yep, sure will. Thank you.
This isn't a question, it's just a comment. Thank you for putting out the notice, both in writing and at this meeting, about items being taken. Right after last Tuesday talk, within 2 hours, an item was returned to the library that had been gone over a month. Wow. So thank you.
Well, look at that. It grew legs and came back home.
Yes. There were some other things never returned, but this was a good one, so
Baby
thank you.
steps, baby steps. Yes, Ms. Ann.
What's gonna happen to the screens after they remove them?
They're going to clean the windows and place them back.
And in the meantime, where are the screens gonna be?
In your-
Evan is extension 50. I don't know what he
I know where
plans to
they're
do
gonna
with that
be.
part.
They're gonna be in the bedroom or wherever you were. They'll stay in your apartment so they don't get confused with others.
They'll clean them.
And
Yeah.
I plan,
Definitely contact Devin if you have any questions. I know he has a full plan in place for that. I don't know where he's placing your screens, but I'm sure he'll make sure that not to get them all mixed up.
I'm just gonna clean mine in the shower.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fine.
Any other questions?
I'll help you.
All right, well, have a happy Tuesday. Appreciate all of you attending and joining us. Thank you very much.